Welcome, welcome, welcome to those out there in fight lands. What we're going to get into today is the phases in which Mikey Garcia and Vargas experienced on Saturday night. But before I get started, for those of you who've never watched my channel, my name is Eric A. Bradley, aka The Real Fight Doctor, and there absolutely is no other on this level. I do this for real. I'm not a talking head. Back to the topic at hand. Mikey Garcia, interesting fighter, moves up from the lighter weight classes to jump into the pool of where the real riches are, the valued athletes, those who are participating in the highest tournament in combat sports, the welterweight division. Now, I do appreciate the candid approach that he had. He went in there and jumped in the ring against the big fish, the biggest fish in the welterweight division, which was Errol the Truth Spence, and Errol Spence Jr. is no average welterweight. Southpaw, rangy, 5'9", strong, thick bone. But the thing about it is, you cannot take something so lightly to overlook this man's resume. So, back to Mikey Garcia. I really appreciate and love what Mikey Garcia does. I love the manner in which he boxes. But what we're about to go over right now is the three phases in which you saw, and what is it that you saw inside of that fight. First phase was the early rounds. This is where you fill out. And in the school of boxing, what we do is try to give the baseline of how to approach a fight and how to really understand how to step into the ring and prevent yourself from getting hurt. First round, fighting at the proper range. Phase 1, balancing yourself. Phase 2, controlling the range. All of these things are what you focus on doing in the early rounds. Round 1, you got to fill them out. You got to find the range. You got to set your base. That's how you get to the next echelon. I think Mikey Garcia did not stay active enough in the early rounds, but you don't know how hard the other guy hits. The guy's a natural welterweight now, has gone up to 154 briefly, but what that said is he's a much bigger guy. He can go up another 7 pounds, 8 pounds in weight. You don't want to play around with that. He did what exactly the book says, and I'm speaking of Vargas here. Vargas went straight out and started punching Mikey Garcia in the mouth, controlling the distance, controlling the range, dictating with the jab, and executing his boxing prowess. Now, he was using a lot of quick twitch muscle. So, with that happened, he burned down a little bit more than what he wanted to. He wanted to impose his will. He controlled the range, and he did what he's supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to do when you're phase 1. The next phase, which is phase 2, rounds in the mid rounds of the fight, which is 5, 6, 7. Okay, these are your mid rounds, 5 through 8. Excuse me. What you saw there was Mikey Garcia comfortable with what he did, the position that he gained. He found his work range. He started to turn it on. He started to mix up his combinations. He started to press the jab, heavy punches, constant pressure. That's what got him the knockdown. In the school of boxing, this is what we call phase 2, where we really show you how to approach turning up the speed once you got yourself positioned to turn on the offense, find the range, press your attack, find his holes, make him pay. That's what Mikey Garcia did. He got the knockdown, nearly stopped him. Now, the difference between, people ask me, what is the difference between an athlete who goes to school to fight and one who just gets in the ring, goes to training camp. He learns boxing. He does it, but outside of that, there's no curriculum to follow. So he can't go home and just basically refer to a guide. Um, our fighters in our online school, they have a guide to refer to. That was one book. That's just a book of notes right there. But they have constant guides. Why is it so difficult for fighters to figure out what they need to do to get the job done? Phase 2 of the boxing match on Saturday night goes to Mikey Garcia, because from the 5th to the 8th round, it was sheer domination. Now you go into what we call the championship rounds, which is the final phase. This is phase 3 in schooling. Why is it so important for these guys to know? Because they have to be able to refer to something in memory. So how our online is laid out is there tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and tier 4. Tier 1 stands for walkthrough pace. So when you're teaching a skill set, whether it's offense or defense, you have to master the science of knowing when to apply it. It shows you there. Phase 2, which is tier 2, stands for go at your average target pace. So whether you're learning counter punching, whether you're learning how to spar, whether you're learning the facets of punching and logistics, or tier 4, tier 3 is executing it in a manner where you have controlled it. You've not only got it down, but you can execute it with a certain prowess. You're executing it with a serious boxing cachet. You're not playing now. You don't just got it. You got it with your signature on it. That is tier 3, hot sauce. That's what we refer to it as in our online guides. That's what it is in real life. I don't care what level you fight at. There are tiers and levels to the game. So we break it down. So phase 3 of the fight Saturday night, Mikey Garcia relinquished his tiers, meaning he didn't step into tier 3 and 4. Fight mode is the phase that you go into when you're trying to seal the deal. After going through phase 2 exquisitely, getting the knockdown, dominating. Now phase 3, tier 4 is walk your man down. Yes, we have it all in our demos, our tutorials, the methods, the science, and then in-depth breakdowns of how this looks no matter what level you are fighting at. I do not confide with coaches who are training athletes that have the WBC, the IBF, the WBO, the WBA, all these intercontinental championships, or Olympic level coaches for no reason. The reason why this is because I understand the process of boxing. Starting a fight, dictate phase 2, executing phase 3. You don't have to be a puncher to knock guys out. It's a simple mathematical equation. Putting your hands together fluidly with the proper instructions, fighting at the necessary range to execute this offensive prowess so that you can execute, learning how to knock a man down without power, without force, but simply snapping their heads in a multitude of directions. It's as easy as learning, going to the gym, bumping heads with the lower level fighters, going up, stepping up to the higher level fighters, and then getting inside of the ring with the elite level fighters when you travel around to other gyms and do a little smoker here and there. Testing out your ring cachet when it comes down to necessary technique drills, skills, and getting an opportunity to put it together. I was very disappointed with phase 3. You started to see Vargas come back on. That's the type thing that happens whenever you're in that position to have the opportunity. People didn't understand what our online school of boxing was about earlier on. But after nearly 30 Golden Gloves champions later, and now 2 Junior Olympic championships just in the month of February, they're starting to take it more serious. Now that we have top level athletes coming in from all of the top boxing sanctioning bodies, top coming over, learning, plucking our brains, or basically getting online and subscribing and enrolling in it because they understand you can't fake this. You can't play anything inside of combat sports. It is not baseball. It is not basketball. It is not hockey. This is boxing. So when we teach it at the highest level, starting out from grand zero. All right? And then you etch your way up slowly but for surely. And that's what Mikey Garcia has to do. These are profound skills. And like I said, you don't play around. I've been on the opposite end of winning. It sucks, but I write books on those experiences so they won't bite me again. And from that, the curriculum gets designed and we teach it at the highest level. So confident in it that we give people an opportunity to try it out just for a little while to show you that we back what we say, and we will make sure that you improve your overall boxing cachet. So my word to Mikey Garcia is education is on the horizon. Line it up, step it up. Same thing with guys like Deontay Wilder. These guys need to finish educating themselves in the science of boxing. And this is where you get your master's degree in boxing. That's all I got for right now. Until next time, Coach Eric A. Bradley, a.k.a. The Real Fight Doctor. And we out of here. But be blessed at God's speed. And check us out online if you love learning about boxing. No matter if you're watching a fight show, if you're watching a boxing tutorial, subscribe to this channel. And if you don't, what you'll learn is eventually you'll need some knowledge, and we have it here for you. So make sure you subscribe, click the bell so you get a notification when we do upload something hot and that you can have something to take away from it. So until next time, we out of here. Be blessed at Godspeed. Go check us out, theschoolofboxing.com. We out of here. Peace.